Greetings, the Astro 30 with a short one for you. PMPO, or Peak Music Power Output. What the hell is it? Well, basically it's just marketing wank to overinflate the actual wattage output of an amplifier to trick one into actually buying their crappy product. So anyone that has actually bought a pair of multimedia PC speakers or one of those boom boxes in their lives will sure be familiar with that term. The term PMPO appears all over the packaging and is always accompanied by a huge wattage figure with a long string of zeros after it. These are often those mass marketed systems which are advertised with taglines like earth-shattering sound. Go and have a look at one of those cartons that the computer speakers come in and you'll probably see something like 600 watts PMPO printed on it. PMPO stands for Peak Music Power Output, but however at times advertisers misuse it as Peak Momentary Performance Output. It is important to know that there is no standard which defines the term PMPO. It can be regarded as the maximum power output of an amplifier within a very short interval of time. Since music itself is very dynamic, there might be short and momentary peaks of very high amplitudes demanding an amplifier power output far higher than the average continuous output power. This output power figure is of great interest to the advertiser since it helps catch the attention of an average consumer. The ratio of PMPO to the continuous average power output of the amplifier is also not consistent. Due to this variation, there is no mathematical correlation between them. The PMPO value is too high that the amplifier can sustain such power output for a very short period of time. Such prohibitive values of output power put a serious demand on the heatsink requirements. The excessive heat produced can also easily damage the system. Even if everything was taken care of, the loudspeakers can never handle such peaks for extended periods of time. Also, since the peak power output rating is the maximum power output within an instant, and the definition of the instant itself varies from person to person, the peak power rating turns out to be a little indeterminate. Preliminary knowledge of PMPO arouses our curiosity regarding the computation of this value. The value resulting from really random and absurd mathematical calculations like, for example, the following formula: PMPO equals real power multiplied by X, where X is the multiplication factor whose value is randomly chosen depending on how inflated the manufacturer wants the PMPO rating to be. This might look very strange. Unfortunately, that's how things are with PMPO power. It is perfectly fine as long as you take the glamorous number out of thin air. When an amplifier is driven into clipping, there is more power available. But it must be noted that the harmonic distortion is very high in such cases, usually around 10%. The peak power rating of surround sound receivers, for instance, can be taken at 10% total harmonic distortion, which would be a great example for this scenario. The power output of an amplifier is to be measured always without clipping. So, if what was discussed in this video does not still seem convincing enough to ditch the PMPO rating, here is a simple scenario. Most of the multimedia speaker systems come with a power unit which provides 1 amp of current at 12 volts DC, which means basically 12 watts of power is available from the power unit. It is quite obvious though that the power output would be considerably lower than this. So the actual average specification of audio power has been accepted as a standard for specifying the actual real world power of our audio amplifiers. Higher average figures promise much louder and cleaner sound. The average figure is not the only parameter which decides the sound quality of the system though. So don't get fooled by fake inflated power ratings. PMPO should really not exist. Anyway, I'm the Astro 30. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to rate, comment and subscribe, and you can always follow me on Facebook or become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1 a month. Anyway, I'm the Astro 30. Have a great day.